Have you ever wondered how secure the data on your GPU really is? In the world of technology, it's not just the software that can have vulnerabilities, hardware can too. A prime example is a flaw recently discovered in GPUs from tech giants Apple, Qualcomm, and AMD. This flaw, aptly named leftover locals, has the potential to expose GPU memory data, a realm typically considered safe from such breaches. Now, what does this mean for you and me? Essentially, any data processed by the GPU could be at risk. And in an era where GPUs are not just powering our gaming experiences, but also integral to AI computations, the stakes are high. From AI model queries to responses, even personal information could be laid bare for attackers. This discovery raises questions about the extent to which our GPUs are safeguarding our data. It's a wake-up call for the tech industry and a reminder for us all that data security is a never-ending game of cat and mouse. Now, what does this GPU vulnerability mean for us? In essence, the flaw known as leftover locals exposes a chink in the armor of GPUs from major manufacturers like Apple, Qualcomm, and AMD. This vulnerability could potentially expose GPU memory data, which might seem innocuous at first, but the potential implications are far-reaching. Imagine a scenario where an attacker can view the inner workings of your device like a virtual peephole into your digital life. This isn't just about seeing your high scores in your favorite games or how many hours you've logged on a design software. What's at stake here is significantly more critical. Attackers exploiting this flaw could potentially get their hands on sensitive data. We're talking about AI model queries and responses which might include personal information. In a world where artificial intelligence is increasingly integrated into our daily lives, from personal assistants to healthcare applications, this is a serious concern. However, it's essential to understand that exploiting this flaw isn't a walk in the park. It requires prior access to the target device's operating system. This means an attacker would need to have already bypassed other layers of security on your device, making the risk more pertinent to targeted attacks rather than widespread data breaches. But this doesn't lessen the gravity of the situation. The fact that such a vulnerability exists in the first place is a wake-up call. GPUs, unlike their CPU counterparts, haven't traditionally prioritized data security. This lack of focus on security is a significant risk, especially as GPUs find themselves at the heart of AI applications where they process and hold sensitive data. This vulnerability is a stark reminder of the need for robust security measures in our devices. It underscores the importance of not just securing the front door, our operating systems and applications, but also the back door, where our data is processed and stored. The leftover locals flaw is a call to action for chip manufacturers and software developers alike to prioritize data security throughout the design and production process. So, where do we stand now in addressing this GPU vulnerability? Let's dig into that. Currently, we're in the thick of it. Fixes for the leftover locals flaw are in the works across the board, from Apple to Qualcomm and AMD. These manufacturers are working tirelessly to patch this vulnerability and protect the GPU memory data from potential exposure. However, it's not as simple as flipping a switch. The patching process is proving to be quite a challenging task. Why, you ask? Well, it's primarily because of the sheer diversity of devices and manufacturers involved. Each device has its unique architecture and software, and each manufacturer has its own set of protocols. This variety makes a one-size-fits-all solution virtually impossible. Moreover, the fixes need to be thoroughly tested before they're deployed. We don't want to fix one problem, only to create another. And let's not forget about the logistical challenges. Ensuring that every affected device receives the patch is a mammoth task in itself. It's like trying to hit a moving target while blindfolded. But let's not lose hope. Remember, the first step to solving a problem is recognizing that there is one, and we've already taken that step. The awareness of this vulnerability has skyrocketed, and the tech community is rallying together to tackle it head-on. Manufacturers are not just focusing on patching the current flaw, but also on preventing similar vulnerabilities in the future. They're re-evaluating their security protocols, tightening their testing processes, and exploring hardware-based security solutions. The aim is to make GPUs as secure as their CPU counterparts. In the midst of all this, you might be wondering what you can do. The answer is simple. Stay informed, Keep an eye out for updates from your device's manufacturer and install any available patches as soon as they're released. The path to securing our GPUs is not an easy one, but it's a journey we must undertake. Despite the challenges, we're making progress, and with every step we take, we're moving closer to a future where our GPUs are as secure as they are powerful. What does this mean for the future of GPU security? Delving into the long-term implications of the leftover locals vulnerability, we find a clear call to action ringing out: the need for a serious ramp-up in GPU security. As the world becomes more digitally interconnected, the stakes rise. The data processed and stored within our devices is no longer mere information, but a veritable treasure trove of personal and proprietary details. This vulnerability has shone a spotlight on an often overlooked area: the GPU. Traditionally, CPUs have been the focus of security efforts, but with GPUs now playing a central role in AI applications, it's imperative that they get their fair share of the security pie. The leftover locals flaw underscores the fact that GPUs can no longer be the weak link in the chain. Moreover, this episode has emphasized the importance of secure integration between CPUs and GPUs, particularly in systems on a chip, or SoCs. As we've seen, a single vulnerability can have a domino effect, potentially compromising the entire system. It's a stark reminder that in the world of cybersecurity, everything is interconnected. But what can we do about it? Well, the first step is awareness. Identifying affected devices and staying informed about patch availability is critical. It's not just about the tech giants releasing fixes, it's about users applying those fixes. Mitigation isn't a one-and-done deal either. It's an ongoing process. This involves staying vigilant about possible vulnerabilities and keeping our devices updated to the latest security standards. It's about recognizing that data security isn't just a luxury but a necessity in our digital age. The leftover locals flaw is a wake-up call, not only for Apple, Qualcomm and AMD, but for all of us. It's a reminder that in the rush to develop and deploy the latest technology, we cannot afford to neglect security. And so, we circle back to the question we started with. What does this mean for the future of GPU security? It means that GPU security is no longer an afterthought. It's front and center, demanding our attention and action. The future of GPU security lies in our hands, and it's time we take it seriously. Now let's take a step back and look at what we've learned today. We've peeled back the layers on a flaw called leftover locals, a vulnerability that affects GPUs from giants like Apple, Qualcomm and AMD. This flaw has the potential to expose GPU memory data and, in the wrong hands, could be exploited to steal sensitive information. This vulnerability is especially concerning in the realm of AI. Why? Because GPUs, unlike CPUs, haven't traditionally prioritized data security. This means that AI model queries and responses, which often include personal information, could be at risk. The exploitation of this flaw, however, isn't a walk in the park. It requires prior access to the target device's operating system, adding a layer of complexity to the potential threat. So where do we stand now? Fixes are being developed and rolled out, but patching this flaw is proving to be a challenge, given the diversity of devices and manufacturers impacted. The process is ongoing, and staying updated on patch availability is crucial for mitigation. Now, what does this mean for the future? This vulnerability has thrown a spotlight on the need for enhanced GPU security. It's a wake-up call reminding us that data security needs to be a priority throughout the chip design and manufacturing process. We need to think about secure integration of GPUs with CPUs in systems on chips, or SoCs. And it's not just about software fixes. Hardware-based security solutions for GPUs could be a valuable step towards better protection. The extent of data leakage and potential attack scenarios are still under investigation. But what's clear is that this isn't a one-off issue. It's a sign of the times, highlighting the importance of data security in our increasingly digital world. In the end, it's clear that securing our GPUs is not just a technical issue, but a critical aspect of our digital lives.